Peace. Peace. Yeah, yo, it's the Allah King Wize, the God King, right here on this glorious day of culture. Some say freedom. So, I'm here to elaborate on some things, man. I'm gonna be going over a lot of different information. And as we go through this information, man, I hope y'all could be able to travel with me because we're about to travel right now on this culture day right here. Some say freedom. How we say freedom, right? So look, in the United States, they call this the Independence Day, right? When they got their independence from England, from the British Empire, right? And so, boom, everybody know during that time frame, blacks in America were slaves. Okay, boom. That was in what, 1776, something like that, 1700s rather. And so, we were still slaves at that time. And so years later, 1930, according to, the account within the history of the Nation of Islam, it said that a man named Master Farad Muhammad, he revealed publicly that, okay, boom, it's time for the black man in America to have his freedom. This is the independence of the black man being dependent upon white America to be free. So that right there sparked off a catalyst, a chain reaction of events, because from that knowledge that came through Master Farad Muhammad, we go some years later and we come to 1964, when we have Almighty God Allah coming with the formation of our culture, of our nation, the 5% nation of gods and earths. So that is something within a timeline from the 1700s all the way up until 1964. We have a series of events that's leading to the growth and development of the total freedom of the mind of the people across the whole globe. Because for all these years, people had in their mind that God was in the sky, that the identity of God was through a spirit that you cannot see that's in the sky. But with the coming of the Son of Man, from Master Farad Muhammad, with Elijah Muhammad being his messenger, the messenger that was put in position all the way up into the coming of Allah himself, revealing that, here we are. I am Allah. I am the God right here in the flesh. So now is no longer any shackles on the brain. There's no longer the mental death of people not having the knowledge of the true identity of who the black man is, the true identity of what your purpose is for being a black man in America. You know what I'm saying? Peace to everybody joining in. Peace to the God. Peace to the God. Sincere. Peace. Peace. So y'all just bear with me for a moment, because I'm gonna get deeper and deeper to some sciences right here. Because when we start talking about freedom, right? Freedom is contrasted with slavery or being captured. So we're saying you becoming free. We needed freedom, not just from shackles and chains. We needed freedom from ideology. We needed freedom from religion. We needed freedom from being manipulated into believing that there's something in the sky that they calling God. They're saying, God is in the sky. And we got to pray to God in the sky. And, we got to do all these rituals of worshiping something that we cannot see, nor can we hear. So think about what's going on throughout this whole time when the people are enslaved. You have a group of people, in specific, a group of white people that's in power. They governing the whole land masses. They've built up institutions, banking institutions. They've built up educational institutions. They've built up various forms of civilization with a certain type of knowledge. Because you got to think about this, right? In order for me to enslave you, that means I got to have something stronger to overpower you and to subdue you, to force you to be how I want you to be according to my will. So now I'm your master. I've enslaved you. So if the people don't know who God is, which they say God is the highest power, you don't know who God is, that means you don't really know how to govern yourself and to extract from the potential within yourself to be free as a person and to have dominion over the things on the earth that's supposed to be subjected to providing for you your source of keeping yourself alive. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, check it out. Think about this. What type of knowledge did these people have that allowed them to control so many masses of people? You get what I'm saying? Because they created educational systems and they had to pass this knowledge down to their children so that their children could inherit the legacies of the wealth that they established. They established a certain type of wealth through their knowledge, right? They figured out how to manipulate masses of people to subject them to being enslaved. Not just black people from the perspective of chattel slavery, but I'm talking about they enslaved masses around the world to be subjected to their ideology, right? So if we look at the fact that they got institutions like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth, these Ivy League schools, right? These just the colleges. Think about what are the schools that prepare you for college. You see what I'm saying? It's some other stuff you got to go through the elementary stages to get you prepared to go off to college. So we speaking about a group of people who have created systems of education from the elementary stages that goes all the way up to the collegiate stages to advance into PhDs, master degrees, and all that type of stuff. Because these are the people that run the banks. These are the people that are the politicians. These are the people that are the chief executive officers of pharmaceutical companies, the CEOs of and directors of hospitals, the deans of colleges and universities. These people have a certain specific type of knowledge. And anybody who have had the experience of college and how you learn certain ways to do research, collect data, deal with analysis, these are things that they teach you in college, right? And if you just get a glimpse of that type of system, you can get an idea of how the elite were able to rule the masses for so long. Because all you got to do is keep the masses dumb, to keep the masses illiterate to the basic fundamental realities of cause and effect. So if I got you believing in a God in the sky, I got you believing in something you can't see, that you can't hear, then that distorts your thinking process. It destroys your ability to be a critical thinker. It destroys your ability to be able to navigate properly with making sound, informed decisions that could produce beneficial results for your well-being. You get what I'm saying? So, now since this knowledge have been revealed to the public, the enemy has to consistently use means of distraction to keep the masses of the people from being able to be receptive to the information, to be receptive to the knowledge. So they got all these different ways that they use black people. They put in black people in positions of entertainment. They put in black people in positions of role model figures, positions of leadership that becomes a shield or a block that keep us from being able to see who the real enemy is. It keeps the masses of the people from being able to recognize how to comprehend information that they are hearing from who? The 5%. You got the 5% who teaching this knowledge, and you have the 10% who are using media manipulation through various means, whether it's through movies, whether it's through music, whether through, curriculums in school. All these combined together produce a weapon. It's like weaponization of education, weaponization of media. It's weaponized to attack the mind state of the people, in particular black people, and then even more specific, the young. So our young people will get caught up in concepts. They get caught up in subcultures, and these concepts and subcultures that our young people get involved in are self-destructive. So, a motherfucker run around saying he a demon. I'm a killer. And he, want to go kill another black person. Right? In his mind, he's feeling justified for doing what he's doing because in his mind or her mind, they are only expressing a norm. It's been normalized within a subculture. This is the behavior that is acceptable behavior based off this specific group. And then when it's highlighted through media and given this type of appeal, it becomes magnetized to attract the young, impressionable mind. And then you have young people wanting to embrace some shit that really is causing them to lose their life at a very young age or getting incarcerated at a very young age. And so I'm just getting started. So when I say I'm just getting started, see, I was off the scene for a long time. I already had some of this knowledge. I already understood certain things. I still was, not fully recovered from a mental death though, because I was one of those young individuals that was in that subculture, up in the street, up in the trenches, dealing with self-hate. But it was the knowledge of myself through the teachings of Almighty God Allah. His mathematics is what resurrected my mind and put me on the trajectory, meaning on a pathway of higher elevation, higher consciousness, to be able to see clearly who the open enemy is and to be able to see clearly how to navigate within a hostile environment. Because in the United States of America, for a black man, it's a hostile environment. The environment is very hostile towards a black man. It always been that way since the 4th of July. Even before then, though, it is a hostile environment for a black man in the United States of America. And it's hard to see who the real enemy is when you buried in ignorance. You are buried in darkness. You are subdued by being illiterate. And if somebody comes to try to teach you something, it sounds corny to you because your brain is so fucking dead. The only thing you can be fucking receptive to is, yo, some old dumbass song like, yo, something round, going downtown, all that whack dumbass shit. And it got the little tune to it. So it, it's sounding good because it's resonating with a certain type of rhythm. It's a certain type of sound that sparked within your soul. So it opens you up to be receptive to that vibe. But now you are open and you receiving inside of you some motherfucking bullshit that's causing you to respond and act against your own self-determination. So I'm not using a bunch of words, right? It's like, yo, what the fuck is he talking about? Yo, this nigga sounding all fucking goddamn, yeah. Because, yo, you so fucking stupid. That shit don't resonate from an intelligent perspective. This is why the gods had to come the way the gods come. Because we can relate to both sides. I can talk to a straight, illiterate, ignorant motherfucker. And at the same time, talk to a collegiate scholar. We travel all the worlds with this knowledge. So you see what we got here. I'm advocating my life as a 5%er. I'm advocating 5% apparel. I'm advocating all these things because this is the understanding of how you make freedom for yourself. To be self-sufficient. To make a living for yourself legally. And so I'm telling our culture, our story. I'm a 5% representative. You know what I mean? I represent the 5%, the nation of the gods and earths to the fullest. And I'm going to come how I'm going to come because, yo, I was blessed by the best. I was given this knowledge over a certain period of time. And I was mentored. And I was mentored. And I was mentored. And I still get mentored by some of my older brothers. Some of my older brothers still give me insight on certain things of how Allah did what he did and how the firstborns and these young individuals at that time grew in a hostile environment to be prosperous as the gods and the earths. And we carry that on to today. And so you got to think about what I was saying, man. Is a certain type of knowledge and information that is being taught in the high-level elite schools. It's not being taught in the low level. You know what I'm saying? You can go to, I'm going to NC State or I'm going to Virginia Tech. Okay, you're getting a certain knowledge. You're getting a certain information. You're learning from a certain curriculum. But then they got these elite curriculums. Because you got to think, right? What type of knowledge do Jerome Powell got? Who is Jerome Powell? Somebody, yo, who the fuck is Jerome Powell? That's the motherfucker who run the goddamn Federal Reserve. So think about the type of mathematical mind state he's operating from. He's governing basically the whole economical base of the world. The Federal Reserve Bank set the tone. Do you know the type of education this man got to have to sit in that seat? You see what I'm saying? Or think about the CIA director, the FBI director. What type of knowledge do this person got to have to occupy those type of seats? Because they're dealing with heavy responsibility. They in some institutions that really like, yo, I'm talking about, yo, their reach, they got a long, they arms long, but their arms ain't long enough to box with God, but they got some long reach though. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with some type of sophisticated education that allowed them to keep control over masses of people throughout the world, yo. And here we are, the 5%, the gods and earths that have been commissioned. We were born, we were given birth to bring freedom to the whole entire planet Earth, and particularly to the black youth, the children, so the children can grow up and be the new rulers, to be the new leaders of what? The whole entire planet. That's some real science right there. So have you ever heard of Charles Darwin? Because some people will say, well, yo, y'all 5%ers, y'all teach that the black man is God. How y'all gonna teach that the black man is God? They want to teach, well, we teach the black man is God, right? We're teaching the black man is God, right? And some people say, oh, that's racist to say that the black man is God. You know? Peace. Peace.
Peace, God.
How you be, Lord?
Find yourself. I'm great.
You said you at the Justice?
Now Cypher.
Okay.
I'm in the kingdom.
Okay. What's your name, God? Divine. Okay. Oh, you the one that be doing the graphic stuff?
Now Cypher.
Okay. Yeah. What's the signs though?
Life.
Okay. That's peace. Well, I'm about to go back into this build, right? I'm just giving this build out on this coaching. Yeah. I appreciate you tuning in though.
Indeed.
Peace.
Keep on teaching, brother. Keep teaching.
Always. Peace. Yeah, so what I was saying about Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin, he developed what he called like the theory of evolution. And then when you get to the part where the political structure at that time, they used his work. And not only his work, but it was a collective group of sociologists, of individuals who were structuring information to justify the subjection of a whole group of people, meaning black people. They were able to say, well, black people are inferior to white people based off of boom. They laid out a full-fledged analysis. And according to them, it was a scientific analysis. They went into all the different details about the structure of the brain. They went into all type of details about, the environment, how the environment has this role on a person, and how this person is fit to be able to be equipped to deal with certain aspects of the environment. So what sprung from this analysis was called social Darwinism. And through social Darwinism, they created political policy. And these political policies set in motion the whole legal strata, like the whole legal apparatus, so to speak. Like the laws that said a black person can be enslaved. The laws that said, okay, even if a black person can be free, right? Because, Emancipation Proclamation, they went on to say, well, we separate but equal. Black people can't come here. Black people can't do this because they're inferior. And if a person is poor or if a person is enslaved, it's their fault through their own genetic inheritance. This is scientific fact, is what they said. So all this, you can go look this stuff up. Like nowadays, a lot of times, since the teachers of the 5% have been on the scene for a certain amount of years, months, and days, people who grew up under this type of knowledge kind of take it for granted. Certain young people take this stuff for granted because they might not even know who the fuck Charles Darwin is or what social Darwinism is and how it became a major part of what was used to produce legal fixtures. They put together laws that said certain things. And so our people, our ancestors over the years who gained knowledge of themselves, especially during the time when Master Farad Muhammad came and let us know who we are and who the white man really is. See, he busted all the way up because you had the whole world taking on Charles Darwin's theory, you know, and running with it. And even to the point where they came up with eugenics, where they would start to say, not just black people, but white people who were poor were subjected to these things too. And so they were saying that if you were of a certain genetic pool, you shouldn't even be able to have the ability to reproduce because they didn't want that gene to be passed on. And that's when they started coming in with all that stuff about, preventing people from having babies. But when you go study the knowledge that the Father showed and proved to us that came out of the lessons of the temple, it already tell you what Yaqub was doing. It already tell you about how Yaqub was on the island of Pelon and how he did what he did through genetic manipulation to produce the Caucasian white man. These devils didn't know that knowledge openly until Far came. Certain stuff they didn't even know. They only had small portions of knowledge, but they had enough of knowledge that allowed them to rule over masses of people. And the main part that they had was they knew it was no mystery God. They knew it was no mystery God. And this is how you had people who took on the concept of Marxism and communism. This is why they became such a rival to the whole structure of capitalism that was based off social Darwinism. You had the colored man. You got two sides to the white man. You got one group of white people who look at the whole world as, yo, we the dominant race and we're gonna control everything that's not white. Then you have another group of white people who, they looking at it like, yo, we should all be equal and, we against oppression. You see what I'm saying? You got this dynamics going on because Musa was a half original man and he gave them two choices. You can go this way with the knowledge or you can go this way with the knowledge. This is how it came about. This is why you have this division amongst white people. And the division amongst white people, it ended up being codified or structured in two major governmental structures: capitalism and communism. These two power bases is what control the entire landscape of the planet Earth. You're going to have the communists, which was dealing with Russia and prior to World War II and all that, you had some aspects of Italy, caught up with what they call fashionism and socialism, and this give rise to Hitler. These are two opposites of the white man. And so what happened was in the era of World War II, this is when you see the United States start to say, we got to pull back from this whole thing with social Darwinism, because Hitler took it and pushed it all the way to the limit when he said, yo, the whites are the superior. And he started talking about the Aryan being the superior man on the planet. You get what I'm saying? So he took the teachings of Yaqub to the apex and saying, we're going to breed blonde hair, blue eyes. But this is in the same era when Master Farad Muhammad revealed the knowledge. Go check the dates. When you want to be able to see what's the value of the knowledge that we have, look at what is going on in the world at the time frames when this knowledge was being advocated and the effect that it was having on the condition of the people during that time. prior to this knowledge coming, white people had a full-fledged grip on the mind state of black people. They had total fear inside black people's heart because black people had been lost from the knowledge of self. So we actually looked up to white people through the trickery of mind manipulation, of introducing us into Christianity and then using symbolism to invoke emotional attachment, right? So they say, oh, this is Jesus. Jesus is God's son. This white picture right here, this white man, blonde hair, blue eye, white man, this is the son of God. Your brain automatically, without you consciously telling it, associate the son, the white man. Oh, his father got to be white then. His father is God. He got to be white too because the son is white. This was a prime form of subliminal manipulation. They did this strategically. It wasn't by, just by chance it came that way. No, they sit back and put that into motion from a strategic plan. And then further pushed it by the beating, the lynching, the constant violence that they put upon us. And then at the same time, we calling on Jesus to save us. You know what I'm saying? We calling on Jesus to save us from this. Lord, that's crazy, right? We saying, Lord Jesus, Jesus, save us. And they the one who fed us Jesus. And told us this is the way you go about receiving your salvation if you obey your master. But anyway, when Master Farah Muhammad came and he taught that the black man is God, the white man is the devil, he showed him prove it scientifically. He bust up the whole social Darwinism thing. Social Darwinism is so powerful as the base for white supremacy that nothing had came to destroy it until the coming of Master Farah Muhammad with the teaching of the knowledge of self, that the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father, civilization, and God of the universe. And the colored man is the Caucasian white man, Yaku's graphic devil of the planet Earth. This right here is what destroyed white supremacy. It gave us a scientific base to combat what they were saying, because they were using science and religion linked together, because they were saying, well, in the Bible, from a religious perspective, the black man is cursed through Ham. Ham saw Noah naked, and so he got cursed, and his seeds got cursed, and his seeds were to be servants to who? You see what I'm saying? The other brothers. So they laid a base through religion to subject us to slavery, and they laid a base through scientific analysis for us to be slaves. Social Darwinism and the Holy Bible, King James. So when this knowledge came, it came specifically prescribed to cure us from the sickness of white supremacy that was inflicted upon us through religion and science. Peace God, today is our day of independence through Master Farah coming to the... Exactly. That's how that goes. That's exactly how that goes. And some people say, yo, how can we just say, some people that's gods in the 5% nation, maybe like, yo, how are you going? Yo, it's all connected a certain way. You have to understand that we're dealing with strategy, military strategy, social strategy. We're dealing with all type of strategies, man. We ain't dealing with just being from a religious perspective. We're not dealing with, individuals who want to have their emotions all attached to what's going on because we got a real open enemy. So through their institutions of education, they consistently carry on certain traditions of white supremacy that get expressed in the politics. It get expressed through the judicial system. It get expressed through the health field. All these different institutions of white supremacy. And so the solution is we must move within our own culture. We must move within our own independence. We network with each other. We do trade amongst each other. We get education. Wherever there is a place to be educated at or from, bring the knowledge back and utilize it within our communities. See, we have to study the history of our freedom fighters that came before us. So we had our Black leaders divided over which way should we go about receiving our freedom. Which methodology should we use to obtain independence and freedom from white supremacy? We had so much of a conflict over which way we should go about achieving our freedom that it caused us to be ineffective, or our ability to really do what we needed to do, it was hindered because we were divided. Because why? Check it out. These divisions right here, Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, they were divided. They were two leaders of the Black nation. W.E.B. Du Bois had his point of view of things. Marcus Mozart Garvey had his point of view of things. These two men were not in the brotherhood moving together. These two men, Peace of the God Foundation, these two men both had the same enemy, white supremacy. But these two men couldn't reconcile their differences to formulate a united front. Marcus Mozart Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, they had people who were following them. They had Black people who were following them. If they would have came together, Marcus Mozart Garvey and W.E.B. Du Bois, that would have been a massive strong. I said, Lord and Master, furthermore, mathematics is derived from peace, which is the absence of chaos. True indeed, God, peace. True indeed. I said, Lord and Master, I said, love of lost mathematics, indeed so. So when you think about how our Black leaders been divided throughout the history, I'm gonna name even some more. W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington. They were divided. They had two different point of views of how should the Black man and woman in America achieve freedom. Booker T. Washington, he was more of, let's get into agriculture, farming, and deal with trades, vocational perspective. W.E. Du Bois was like, yo, let's go to college and become very excelled in our academia and apply it into politics. Two different point of views. They had people that were following them. W.E.B. Du Bois had those that was listening to him. Booker T. Washington had those that were listening to him. It divided the power. It diluted the magnitude of our unified power. So, all the way up into the 60s, got Martin Luther King, you got Malcolm X. You see what I'm saying? It's a pattern of us being divided and not being able to reconcile our differences that we have over the same issue. This is why we still being stuck dealing with the same issue. So today, And today, you know what I'm saying? It's a new day. Today, yo, we have to be able to say, you know what, yo, we can agree to disagree. We can compromise a certain way without compromising our integrity. We can, you know, we can look at certain aspects of things and say, yo, you got that side right there, I got this side. Let's formulate. Because, yo, this is what the Caucasian white man did, yo. When he formulated the United Nations, that was an outgrowth of the League of Nations coming from World War II, they sat down together, man. They sat down and said, yo, we're going to divide up the planet Earth. They divided up the Middle East. They divided up Africa. They said, yo, this part going to France, this part going to England, this part right here will go to the so-called European exiles from Germany and all that, and could say they Jews. All of this took place because they came together in an agreement. It is actually called an agreement. What was Balfour Agreement? What they call that agreement? They agreed on how they were going to divide up the land masses. They redrew boundaries on the land to say, well, you know what? This used to be called Persia. This used to be called Mesopotamia. This will now be called Iran. This will now be called Iraq. This part right here will be called Saudi Arabia. How they do that? Think about that. How did they do that? So, yo, this division over leadership amongst us grew all the way until you got Bloods and Crips. You got Crips, you got Bloods. Two different point of views of how they're going to deal with oppression within their community. You see what I'm saying? This division amongst power brokers, this has to be brought into the forefront. We have to put this out there so we can take a look at it and be like, yo, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Yo, why am I looking at you like you're my enemy? Why am I seeking to address you with so much hatred towards you to the point where I say, yo, I will kill you, nigga. Over what? But I'm allowing this one. I'm sparing this one over here. This white supremacist over here, I'm allowing to live. And yo, I don't promote violence though. I don't promote, yo, you should go out and attack nobody, because you know what I say? Just love yourself. Just build up your own economy. Build up your own community. Pool our resources amongst ourselves and redistribute the resources out within our own community. Right, God, it's right. The treaty, exact, it's right, it's right. They put all of that together. And so this is how deep this is. Young people don't understand this. A lot of black people don't know this information. So, because, yo, if I'm listening to some dumb shit on the airwaves, right? I'm watching all this crazy reality TV shows, Bad Girls, all this shit. I'm bombarded with this junk food for thought. This shit bombarding my brain. The whole time this shit bombarding my brain, my condition of life is fucked up. But the people they projected on the screen, they making sure they rich though. They giving these people stage props. They giving these people money. They giving these people material shit that allow them to stand before us on a screen, whether it's through your phone device, or through your laptop, or through your TV. These people all up there acting a goddamn fool. And they supposed to be representatives of the black people, but they leading the black people into destruction. And we fucking give these people all the praise. Yo, this man, motherfuck them. But here go the thing though. It's still open doors for reconciliation though. Because I don't disregard you and your ignorance. Okay, you ignorant as a motherfucker. You fucking dumb as a motherfucker how you acting right now. You know what I'm saying? I can relate and understand where you're coming from though. But here go the science, yo. We gotta elevate beyond that shit. Yo, you gotta grow beyond that. Because if you don't grow beyond that, you're gonna be destroyed in your own iniquity. How you gonna be destroyed? Look how many motherfuckers ODing. Look how many motherfuckers just getting killed. Black on black murder. Look how many people dying from diseases, heart disease, you know what I'm saying, cancer. All these things is destroying us. So check this out. This is what I say right here on this, right? Have you ever paid attention to who was the man behind Whitney Houston? Who was the man behind Michael Jackson? Who was the man, right, that was behind a lot of the powerful musicians of a certain era, right? Be more specific. Clive Davis. Who was that? Who was Clive Davis? A Caucasian, right? A Jew, right? Not only that, he a lawyer. He was a lawyer. Entered into the musical world. Pop. He made Whitney Houston a superstar worldwide. Yo, did you see how Whitney Houston died though? Did you see how Whitney Houston on top of the world musically? They made her rich. They made Michael Jackson rich on top of the world musically. They made him rich. Look how Mike died. Look how Whitney died. Mike was the #1 pop star, male. Whitney was the #1 pop star, female. They both died similar. They both died miserably. You understand? They both died miserably. Whitney Houston died miserably. Michael Jackson died miserably. They died of a miserable death. But they were made superstars though. They had all the money in the world that they could buy whatever, they could travel whatever. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. In my era of time growing up, they were the superstars that we looked at. Yo, look at them, they great. People looking at them all around the world, people crying and screaming, yo, Mike, Whitney, Whitney. Look how their life ended though. All the amount of money in the world couldn't make them happy. All the materialistic access in the world could not make them what? Happy. And they died in what? Their own iniquity. They didn't pay attention to what the 5% was saying. They didn't pay attention to the sound. Yo, the teaching's been out there since the 30s. The knowledge been openly out there and the people rejecting it. And if you continue to reject this knowledge, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer and die miserably. You understand? You're going to die miserably. Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Yo, do a reset, man. I'm just here building, man. I'm just getting started. That's what I'm calling this right here. I'm just getting started. And when I'm saying I'm just getting started, I was gone for a while. I was taking out the picture. See what I'm saying? I was locked away out the picture. Now I'm back. And I'm just getting started. And everything I do is for the 5%. Everything I do is for the gods and earths. Everything I do is for the people of the culture. And it's no compromise in the integrity. It's no compromise with, yo, motherfucker try to buy you out to manipulate you with some money. You know what I'm saying? Giving you shit. That's how they got us over here in the first place. The trader made a what? They promising more gold. So, yo, peace to the God. Peace, Iron Sheik. Peace. I know, hey, yo, I seen who you are, man. I seen you. I seen the interview you did with Inf Mega, man. You love the nation. You love the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I seen that. We gotta connect in the very near future. We gotta connect on the music vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because yo, we gotta keep the sound out there for the young to be able to hear the language of the gods, the God language, the language of the culture. You know, so we can preserve the best part. We got to be able to preserve the best part, Because if we don't preserve the best part, we're going to lose out. But we can't lose out because we was already predicted to win. It was already predicted for us to win, so we can't lose out. We're not going to lose out, but it's us being able to understand how to take a step back and readjust and, you know, humble ourselves. You know, humbleness is beautiful, yo. When you can humble yourself, true indeed, God, that's peace. That's peace. Definitely, definitely, definitely. You know, because, yo, my vision is we got to bring all the gods, man, together that's kicking the sound. And we move amongst ourselves and create our own economy. You know, with the different technologies out there these days, the different platforms, we don't need the devil. And if the devil do come and he want to be civilized and learn how to do like the original man, and we can form a trade with a Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? I got white 5%ers. I got white brothers, you know what I'm saying, too, that I deal with. My only enemy is white supremacy. And that can come in a black, brown, yellow, or white form. So we kill white supremacy in all its forms. The culture degrees say, yo, we run them from amongst us. We run that shit from amongst us. And we all got certain things that we deal with. Ain't nobody that's perfect. We all going through different shit. But the power of the brotherhood. See, it's the power of the brotherhood. The power of love. The power of love and the power of the brotherhood. Nothing in the universe can stop it. Because that is the greatest threat to white supremacy. Peace to the God. Lord Sirius speaks. Peace, God. I got to get with you too, God. Lord Sirius, yo. So we about to put together we about to revamp that newsletter thing, man. And yo, I'm going to get with Self-Born so we can get you in there so you can get your expressions out there. Peace to the God. No question, you know, because it's all about the brotherhood, man. Our brothers is behind the wall. There's, we going to get y'all out, man. So this is what the gods and earths told me. This is what the gods told me. My big brother Allah B, man. Peace be upon him. I used to call the God from behind the wall, and the God used to tell me, we gonna get you out. The nation got me out. We gonna get you out. That's what the God used to tell me on a regular basis. Say, yo, the nation got me out. We gonna get you out. The God word was bond. The God word was bond. And you see this right here, freedom. Back here, Papa Wu. Right here, my big brother, my father mentor. I used to call the God, like, yo. And he say, yo, before you know it, you're going to be out. Inspiration. See, these people was giving me inspiration in my most lowest time. I was in the most lowest time in my life. You see what I'm saying? They try to take me out, bury me alive. It didn't work, though. It didn't work, though, because why? I stayed true to mathematics. Allah's mathematics. I stayed true. I freed myself from the negative shit. You know what I'm saying? All the street shit, all that shit, I got it out of me. That's no longer an option for me. You see, this is how I freed myself. I had to free myself from that shit. And I seen many of my brothers who were with me in the trenches. We behind the wall, come back out here, and they go back in there. I'd have been in and out before too. So I had to really, go inside my mind, G. I had to go inside my mind, not nobody else's mind. I had to take responsibility for my own actions. Can't blame somebody else. Because why? At the end of the day, you still got a choice to make. You still got decisions to make. And you got to live with that shit. And the ones you love got to live with it too, because you can do some things that put you in a fucked up situation and it hurt them. Because why? They got to come to your aid, or they might not even be in a position to be able to come to your aid. And that bring them pain too, because they want to help their brother out. They want to help their father out. They want to help their son out, or they want to help their uncle out. And they're not able to get to them. So, we got to stop putting ourselves in those positions. And how do you do that? We pull our resources together, man. Build your skill sets up. Whatever you good at, yo, let's put it on the table. What's your strong point? Peace of the God. What's your strong point? Whatever you strong at, put it on the table. Whatever you qualify for. The key thing is you have to be qualified. Don't step in lanes you're not qualified for. And if you want to be in the lane that you're not qualified for, go get the what? Education. Go get the education that will allow you to be qualified for that position. And then you can carry out your said duty. No one should be striving to be in places you're not qualified for. You got to do a self-assessment, and we got to deal with constructive criticism. See, I ask my brothers all the time, yo, what do you think about me? Go, yo, where you see my strong point at? Yo, where you see my weak point at? What do you think I need to work on? That's a self-assessment. Or you get your brothers, the ones that's closest to you, your sisters, your black woman, your queen, whatever. Go through these evaluations, man. And it's all out of love for the said purpose of getting us to be better, to advance the culture. It's all about advancing the culture. Because you got the culture vultures out there, G. You got the motherfuckers who trying to like infiltrate. They ain't trying to infiltrate. They already infiltrated. So what do? You keep teaching that the black man is God. See, as long as you teaching that the black man is God, you're going to destroy all that's white supremacists. If you keep teaching black love, the love for yourself, to deal with honor, to deal with certain principles, you're going to be able to see who is who and what is what, because a coward can't stand on the principles of truth. A coward can't handle that type of pressure. A snake can't handle that type of pressure. And it's always mercy, because Allah is most merciful. So when we look at the mercy of Allah, it's like a rubber band. Let me say it again. The mercy of Allah is like a rubber band, and it's stretched like this. This is mercy. That's mercy right there. That's the wrath. When it snapped back, that's called the wrath of Allah. Allah is most merciful. This is the beneficent, the merciful. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. That's the beneficent, the merciful. And then that's the wrath of Allah. You get time within your mercy to correct yourself. You get time within your mercy. True indeed, peace of Allah be. That's right, man. You know, that's my big brother, my father, mentor. That's my lineage of the knowledge back to Allah. You see what I'm saying? This man right here, Freedom, he was one of the first ones in my life. This is before I connect with Allah be. But yo, that's what it's about, man. You know, Allah be, man. He was one of the gods. It's two people. It's two men in the nation that's in my growth and development that inspired me the most. And that was Allah be and Freedom Allah, Papa Wu. Those two men right there, they had the most impression upon my mind, because I grew up young in the street. And so it took a lot to attract me. Like, in order for you to get me to listen, to be able to see something coming from an older person, you had to be showing and proving some type of power. You had to show me something, not just tell me something, because I was already getting money. I was already walking around with big ass guns. I was already going places and doing things at a very young age. And when I heard these men and I saw these men, these two men, it broadened my mind to another level. And so, you know, you always got to give honor and respect to those who pave a way for you. Because what happens is that's how you live on. Because when we no longer here, the way we affected somebody else's life, that's how we remain. Because, yo, we giving praises due to our ancestors and to our elders. You always got to give respect to your elders and your ancestors. This is where you continue to have that energy to perform. you continue to have that confidence. Because why? Ain't no mystery God. There is no mystery God. And because there is no mystery God, what we talking about now? We talking about energy, consciousness. We talking about consciousness and energy. We talking about, you know, the will of Allah. We're talking about mathematics. We're talking about the ingredients that make up the arm, leg, arm, supreme head, the all in all. And it's expressed through certain principles of life. The more you live out these principles of life, the more power you generate, the more strength you have, the more ability you have to achieve your goals in life. And the more you have peace within yourself, the less stress you have. The black man is God, always has been, always will be. And that's what's in the forefront of my mind all the time. The forefront of my brain is the black man is God. Psalms 82. Yeah, exactly. Stand in the congregation of the wicked. Yeah, right. Judge amongst the gods. Exactly. 2 indeed. 126. Indeed, God. And it takes us all the way to John 10:34. When we get to John 10:34, and the Jews were stoning Jesus, and he's like, yo, for what good work? Exactly. Yeah, you in tune, God. Exactly. See, this type of knowledge right here, this type of energy, is the energy that keep the whole planets moving. You see what I'm saying? We tapping into something that's already been here, and it's always going to be here. And it just expresses itself through different mediums, and we just keep it going. We keep it going. Straight up, that's how we do it, man. Because the greatest joy is to see the true black independence. The greatest joy is to see us all black everything. We got our own black banks. We got our own black hospitals. We got our own black farmland. And yo, this way it get real supreme. We begin to create new forms of structures. This is what we inspire the young to do. The young people that's coming up, they got a lot of energy. Their mind can't stay focused on this bullshit that's being presented to them. So we got to inspire them for their greatness. Because what the older gods say, yo, the babies are the greatest. The babies are the greatest. And yo, going back to Allah being Papa Wu again. Do you know it's something special, right? When a man can have multiple children, and when he talk to you, he can make you feel like you his child too. That's deep, yo. A man can have multiple children, sons and daughters all around, and he can speak to you, and you experience the relationship of father and son. That's power right there. I could call Allah B. Allah, I could be locked up. Allah B is on a hospital bed, and I'm calling him on three-way. Okay, yeah, the Holy Quran, Surah 7. Exactly, yeah, exactly. No question. Exactly, no question. But yeah, man, I could be on the hospital bed. The God could be on the hospital bed. He still would talk to me for like 5 minutes. He could hardly breathe. One of his lungs gone. The God would still be, yo, peace, God. You know what I'm saying? Still building. That's where I pull my inspiration from. Things like that. And they inspired me as young. So what we got to do, inspire the young. We got to inspire the young ones too. That's what we got to do. We got to inspire the young ones too. You know, we got to inspire the young ones so they can understand the value of their life. See, the world is structured to make a young black boy feel hopeless. Yeah, he was a great man. Really, really great. This year was the first show improved that just passed when Allah B wasn't physically here. This was the first show improved. Allah B helped pioneer the show improve, the educational show improve. This was the first year my father, mentor, big brother was not physically on the scene. You see what I'm saying? And the whole thing about that, he was still here mentally. He was here operating through many bodies. Because why? He left with a certain type of integrity. And his life was an example of a black man who went through the struggle of the streets, of incarceration, and came home and prospered in his life and didn't go back. That's an example for my young street niggas. We want to talk about OG street gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? Allah be Wild Bill Cody. You see what I'm saying? In the streets, they was calling him Cody. Wild gun clapper. You see what I'm saying? Wilding out at one time. Got the knowledge of himself, meeting Allah face to face. And that began to resurrect his behavior from being a savage in the pursuit of happiness. He did 27 years, exactly. The God did 27 years, you know what I'm saying, for being a 5%er. You know, the same way when the white man, Burt Roberts, told Allah, yo, you can be Allah all you want in Kings County and in Manhattan. But if you come up here in the Bronx and tell the people you Allah, I'm going to put your black ass in jail. That's what the white man told Allah the Father. Burt Roberts, that same prosecutor, is who locked up Allah B. Right? He met Allah at the age of 16. Indeed so. That's a fact. Right. And that changed his life. You know what I'm saying? For the better. And so it's those type of examples. This is the stuff that the young people need to know. Individuals say, yo, he blood, yo, you Crip, you GD, you banging this, you banging that, and you in the street and not even realizing, what's it say? Peace, God. How do we break the cycle of building and destroying that this mighty nation may rise? One step forward and 2 steps backwards shows and proves little to no progress. So, you know what I learned about the nation, right? We all right. We okay. Constructive criticism is good, though. It's all good to have constructive criticism, because constructive criticism allow us to take a look at ourselves and introspect, like we introspection, like we dealing with, like, okay, let me take a look at myself. What can I work on to be greater? And it's a lot of things we can work on to be greater. The main thing, though, that we got to work on is loving ourselves more. See, if I come from a place of love to you, and even if I'm criticizing you about something, if it's coming from a place of love, then it's good. If I'm coming to you with jealousy in my eyes and envy in my heart, and I'm striving to criticize you about something, that's coming from a bad place. That's coming from a bad place. You got to get the jealousy, the envy out. You got to destroy all of that shit. The 4 devils, you got to get rid of them. And it's always a work in progress, because what happened to us was something that was no joke, man. You know, the shit that happened to us, you know, the way we were destroyed mentally. You got a lot of people, man, dealing with issues that's real deep, man, you know, chronic issues mentally. You got some people, man, you know, that their reading comprehension level fucked up. They might can quote degrees and all that, but their comprehension level low as a motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? And they don't even realize that. You got some brothers, man, come from certain circumstances that created a cutthroat mentality. You know, they came from harsh environment. So that was survival for them. And they bring these same behaviors into the nation. You got all type of shit. But you know what? It ain't nothing that we can't handle as a collective, as a whole. And so I call it a process of elimination. You know, it's certain things got to work itself out. It only take a small few of us. It don't take a whole lot of us. It take a small few of us, right? And this small few of us do what we see we need to do as a nation. So one thing I can say about me, Allah King Wize, I give all praise due to Almighty God Allah, right? Is that I was blessed a certain way. So I carry out my duty. Everybody might not agree. Like some gods may say, yo, why you sell stuff with the flag on it? Some gods may say, yo, why you using this flag? Why the moon above the 7 and not this flag? I got both of the flags up. You may have some brothers who criticize things from different ways. And sometimes they try to cause a disruption with their criticism because that's the only way they know how to make themselves be valid. You have some people who can only make themselves be valid is through confusion. It's through conflict. This is how they substantiate their own existence. Then you have some people who make themselves be valid through a substantial skill set that is applicable. It's needed for the advancement of humanity. That's the difference. That's the main difference. You know, it get sometimes, it come a time you're like, I'm tired of fighting. You get tired of having beef with individuals and you got to be looking around where you're going because you don't know if the op over here. See, you get tired of that type of shit. If you live to survive long enough to get tired. Some people get their life cut short. So our job is to the babies, to the children. This is how I define where a person is at in their knowledge in this nation. How many children are you affecting with your knowledge? How many children are you being responsible for with your knowledge? If you're not being responsible for any children with your knowledge don't mean shit to me. What you're talking about don't mean nothing to me unless you can make it valid through the children. It has to be validated through the children. It's certain qualifications. Yes, we must know our lessons. Yes, you must know your history. Yes, you must be, operating from a civilized standpoint. Right? With all of that, we have a duty with all of that. Because all of that prepare you to do your duty. Learning your history, learning your mathematics alphabets, your 120 degrees, and continue to advance in your knowledge of self and education, right? That is the qualification that prepares you to go and teach the children. When you're a part of this nation, that is what qualifies you to go out and do your duty, which is teach the babies, save the babies. We have other people that's designed to do other things in other said nations. When you look at the United States of America, right, they got the Army, they got the Navy, they got the Air Force, they got the Marines. Say it again. You already know what it is. They got the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Each one got a specific qualification and duty. We definitely need more herbs in the nation, God. That's a fact. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We need more herbs in the nation. And that's a fact, God. That's a fact. That's the key point. That's the key point. You made a real great point. We do need more herbs, right? So when you look at the fact that in the military, it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. They wear 3/4. You're right. I'm a sidetrack and build on that. That's a deep build right there. Because the magnetic pull of the devil civilization is so strong on our women. that they want to show off everything. Exactly. That's the key part, God. That's a main part. That's a main part. I deal with that even with my own earth. Trying to look, yo, this is certain way you gotta dress. That's a fact. That's a hard one to get across right there. That one right there is so hard because exactly. True indeed. That's a fact. It's one of those things where it take a collective, it take a culture, because we have to show the benefit in that. That's the main thing. In order. Right. Exactly, God. You're right. All those things are a fact, yo. You know, they know saying call themselves goddesses these days and dress in certain ways. All those are things that we got to work on. That's what I'm talking about. The constructive criticism. We have to be able to constructively criticize and be able to show what's the benefit. It's like the pros and the cons. How you weigh it out. The benefits, you know what I'm saying? We got to show, okay, it's more benefit in this than in that. Exactly. Yeah. You're right. Exactly. That's what it's starting to look like. That's why we got to get more children, and we got to get the like you say, God. We got to get the earths in tune and get our children to be enthusiastic about those type of things. The same way you got children to be enthusiastic about Christmas, to be enthusiastic about Halloween, to be enthusiastic about Easter and all that shit. We got to be able to get our children to be enthusiastic about Parliament, Show and Prove, Family Day, Earth Appreciation. Right. Yeah. Bad health like a motherfucker. So these are tangible things to point to that could give us the ability to say, look, we got to do better. We got to be able to advance beyond that. Because I tell brothers, yo, what's the life expectancy of God in this nation? What's the life expectancy of earth in this nation? We dying off very young. And it's the foods. The foods is the key. And drugs. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of individuals is using these chemicals, and a lot of individuals eating the wrong food. So it's causing a lifespan to deteriorate. Our lifespan deteriorating. You know what I'm saying? We ain't living that long, to be able to carry on the information, to be able to reach the next generation. So it's something I see, right? I know a few children that were born in this nation. I know a lot of children that was born in this nation. And now they like in their 20s and their 30s, some in their 40s. Some still building the nation, some don't. So what I realized is it only takes a small few. Right. You got to pass on the torch. You definitely got to pass on the torch. What I seen is what I see. Pause yourself for a second. Pause yourself. So something I seen in the nation, right? It's still stuck in the 60s. Yeah. So something I learned is that it only take a small few. It only take a small few to bring about a change that affect many. And doing so, God, I'm in tune exactly where you at. See, one thing about it, we always have to look at, we always have to deal with constructive criticism. We got to be able to critique ourselves in order to get better. It's like if I'm writing a song, right? Boom. Or if I'm putting on some clothes or whatever, I look at like, yo, you know what? I don't like the way that look. I got to go back and check this a different way. You got to be able to go back and rearrange things. And so that's why it's a small few of us. So it's certain gods and certain earths that's qualified to advance the nation. It's about advancing the nation. And so I studied the United States, right? This is the United States Independence Day. So one thing about the United States was they laid a foundation in the 1700s called the United States Constitution. They still building up that same Constitution to this very day. They added amendments to it. They amended this, they amended that, but the core basics of that Constitution stay the same. They laid down, it was 7 articles that created the base for the Constitution. 7 articles. Everything else became amendments. Amendment number 1, amendment number 2, and going into what they call the Bill of Rights. With the black man in America fighting for freedom, we caused them to have to amend and adjust the Constitution. Right. That is the power that we possess. So when you look at how the United States was built from 13 colonies, the 5% nation was built from non-born. They were babies, though. See, there's nowhere else in their history where you can see a nation that was started from children. It was young children that started the 5% nation. And the father got taken away early. So we always got to keep in mind of our nation be attacked. We attacked by agents. We attacked by certain enemies that don't want to see us prosper. So the certain defects that take place in this nation, some of it was here from the very beginning, because when the father went to these young boys, they were attacked by heroin. So a lot of them became heroin addicts in the very beginning. But think about where the heroin come from. Who initiated heroin into the community? Of course, it was the devil with a plan to rock the black man back to sleep, because the knowledge was waking us up. It was waking us up. So we got to put you back to sleep. And the gods, we took on that challenge. We took on that challenge. A lot of gods became dope fiends. Some gods got off of it. Some gods didn't. And over the years, this same element of poison been in the nation. It goes into the crack era, the crack cocaine. See what I'm saying? All these things were attacks upon the black nation, the 5% nation, and the black nation as a whole. So with the aspect of constructive criticism being the lens that we're looking through to see how we can get greater and advance ourselves, it's a lot of things that's going to have to be done strictly by living example. We have to show certain examples through our own life and highlight our lifestyle and let the young people observe it. They will make an informed decision for themselves. They're going to choose this or they're going to choose that. So the competition is for the minds of the people. The competition is between God and devil. Which mind state, which culture will be the dominant factor hereafter? This is the challenge that we're dealing with. Right. That's some not mentioned in this lesson. So it takes certain qualified people to step up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? Stepping up to the plate and say, you know what? I'm here to protect and advance the nation. The same way the Army, the Marines, Navy, and Air Force protect the United States is how young brothers and sisters And older brothers and sisters too have to protect our nation. That's just how it goes. That's my point of view. That's my understanding. That's just how I see it. Is to ensure that this right here is preserved. And the only way it's really going to be preserved is if we expand through the children. I teach children every day, basically. I'm teaching them mathematics and alphabets. I'm teaching them how to be young boys and to advance in their maturity, how to manage their emotions, and to get even more advanced. How do you make a living for yourself? How do you develop skill sets that can be transferable to other areas of your life? And how can you monetize your skill sets to make a living for yourself? Peace to God, knowledge born. Okay, God, peace, God, peace, God. Yeah, so, all these things are the things that we have to do in order to keep ourselves thriving in existence. Because it's no mystery, God, to do it. It's no mystery, God, to do this. We got to do this for ourselves. So again, it's developing your skill sets. Seeing how to have transferable skills that you can transfer from one point of your life to another aspect of your life. And how do you take those skill sets and monetize them to make a living for yourself? And how do you incorporate all of this into your family in a balance, your work-life balance, and expand it into work-life balance into the community, at home and abroad? That's what it's all about. How can we make all of this become to the point where it's like, yo, you can see yourself and everything around you. You see how the United States developed itself and said, this is Jamestown. This is Maryland. This is, you know what I'm saying? These names, King James. So it's old Jamestown, Queen Mary. So this is Maryland, Baltimore. That's Lord Baltimore. See what I'm saying? These are people names. Richmond, King Richard. They put their names, they put their faces in their world. So when they look around themselves, when they look and see, they see themselves. This builds more confidence. So when a young child is growing up and they are a white child, they walking into the world like, this is my world. This world was meant for me. Because why? My brother named James. That's Jamestown. You see what I'm saying? Washington, D.C. The District of who? Columbia. They put their names on the land. The land was already here before they came. They just put their name on it. And they made ownership for themselves. So it produced inspiration for the next generation. And that's why Allah said Harlem is Mecca. Brooklyn is Medina. The Bronx is Pelon. You see what I'm saying? And the gods go on and on and say, yo, this is the desert oasis. We reclaiming the land. You have to be qualified to build on the land. The Father said the earth must be built on. We got to qualify to build on the land. How do you qualify to build on the land? It's how responsible you are in your own individual life. Can you take care of yourself? Can you take care of your woman? Can you take care of your children? Can you take care of your household? Are you an effective advocate inside your community? You see what I'm saying? All these things right here, man, show and prove you qualified to build on the earth, that you qualified to be able to inherit the rulership of the planet. That's just how that goes. Everybody not qualified for that. And that's cool, though. You know, it's okay if everybody not qualified, because, you know, you got to go through training. You got to go through being educated. You got to go through you know, having the proper knowledge and then being able to apply that knowledge. And that's like real man shit right there, man. That's what's all about being a man right there, yo. It's all about being a man. Okay, I see you right there, Knowledge Born. Yeah, man, just building on. Jules, true indeed, God, true indeed. You know, it's that time, man. It's that time. Yo, we standing on the shoulders of giants. We standing on the shoulders of other people who came before us and paved the way. And it get greater later. We keep building, and it gets greater and it get greater. As long as each person do their part, that's all that matters, man. You know, you can only just do your part. You can't do somebody else's part. You got to do the part that you qualify for. And the part that you qualify for is the part that you're responsible for, that you held accountable for, the said duty. Each person got to do their said duty. And everything else gonna be peace. The only time it's not peace if you're not doing your said duty, if you're not doing what you're qualified to do. And the thing that's technical about that, you can't just sit around and say, well, you know, I'm just qualified to sit around. No, you got to be seeking knowledge. You always got to be seeking knowledge to advance yourself, because we live in an ever-changing, evolving world, an ever-changing, evolving society. And you have to make yourself be an asset. You have to be an asset. And the way you become an asset is you have something to offer that other people can use to maintain and sustain their existence. You know, so what do you have to offer? Everybody has something to offer. But the key part is, how do you package it and market it to make other people say, you know what, I need that, because we're in a competitive society too. So we competing with other people who possess the same type of things that you may possess. And it's about, okay, how do you compete? But this is what I say, yo. We shouldn't even be competing against each other. We should be competing against the white motherfuckers. And I'm not saying that in a antagonistic way neither. Because what I'm saying is, if you got a whole state named after you, you got a whole state that's named after you, right? Or you got these buildings named after you. You got these clothes, you got these designs named after you. Captain, lieutenant, you know, the duty of the captain is to get order to lieutenant. Lieutenant duty to teach and train the private soldiers, God. That's what it is right there, you know. What does the meaning of CAPT and LIUT? Indeed so, you know. That's what that is right there. You know, the duty of the captain to give orders to the lieutenant. The lieutenant duty is to teach and train the private soldiers. And so that's the formation right there. You know, that's military formation. And so, yo, I'm glad you said that. When you understand military formation, now we starting to really get into, you know, a whole nother thing right there. Because when you understand military formation, we talking about structure. We talking about organization. Law and order, exactly, God. Law and order. So now everything is governed by law and order. The entire universe is governed by that. And when you get in tune with that, that will create peace and harmony for you. This is how we experience peace. When we say Islam, is peace, or I self Lord and Master, the part of that is I sincerely love Allah's mathematics. I strategically live Allah's mathematics. Because when you live in Allah's mathematics, exactly, he didn't build prison houses. Exactly. Because when you live in Allah's mathematics, it allows you to be in harmony with everything around you. So you always gonna be right and exact. So even if you're going through a struggle, even if you're going through an obstacle, even if you're going through a challenge, you have to embrace it. Indeed, we definitely have to instill true justice, because, you know, one thing about the true justice is the mercy that has to go into that. The mercy, because our young people doing shit out of ignorance. That's why when they get locked up, they start telling everything, because that was not you anyway. When you did what you did, that wasn't you. Your mind had been hijacked. You know what I'm saying? You was acting other than yourself. So you went out and lived out something that is not you. And now they come in and serve justice through their justice system, which is an injustice. And they're making money off the situation. It's all monetary. They just use the word justice. The same way they use Jesus' name to shield their dirty religion, they use justice to shield their dirty criminal injustice system. The injustice system, they use the word justice. Oh, we got to make sure justice is served. We're here to ensure this. But the whole time, you just found a way to capitalize off the ignorance of our people and monetize it. So therefore, this is why we have to stand in and be the justice. That's why we say in the name of Allah and what? Justice. You see what I'm saying? Allah and justice. Justice see. He brought us to justice so we can see. Because they say justice is blind. So Allah, right-hand man, justice see. He came and brought us justice to be able to know how to deal with certain situations, because we living in an unjust world. And in this unjust world, it causes disruption. It's a disruption that takes place. So here goes the question though. Why did Allah, the all in all, ordain all of this to happen? Why did Allah, the all in all, right? Supreme being, the black man, the high level of consciousness, why was all of this allowed to be? Why was murder, mayhem, rape, destruction, enslavement, why was all these things allowed to be expressed? You see what I'm saying? Why was all this allowed to take place? In the Quran, you know, it speaks about a scenario where it says, you know, Allah is about to make man, and the angels say, why are you going to make something that causes mischief and bloodshed? And in the Quran, Allah says to the angels, I know what you know not. Think about that. It says, yo, why are you going to make something that causes mischief and bloodshed? Right? Why are you going to make something that causes mischief and bloodshed? And it says, yo, I know what you know not. You see what I'm saying? And then when Allah fashioned man according to the Quran, he told the angels to submit to it, to bow down. And the one that's Iblis, which was a jinn, said, nah, I'm made of fire. That's made of clay. Why should I bow down to that? See, it's a symbolic meaning to that. It's a very profound story where you can get deeper into it of what it means and what is it really describing in relationship to our life and our everyday activity. How are we able to utilize this story to benefit ourselves in our everyday life? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're talking about right there, God. I can't even read that right there. Kiss the knowledge and or didn't don't. I don't know what that is right there. But anyway, you know, that story right there has a lot of morals wrapped up into it. Okay, I got you. Loss of knowledge. Yeah. It has a lot of science baked into that story. So on one side of it, the angel said, yo, this creation is going to cause mischief and bloodshed. Allah, the best Noah, understood this was all a part of the growth and development and expansion of existence. It was all a part. These are all the things that must take place. You have to separate your emotions from that. See, if you just operate from your emotional context and how you feel, you can't really see how all these things fit into a divine plan. It's a divine plan. It's certain interconnections. It's certain interlocking bonds that create an entire flow. It's an entire flow that when you sitting back looking at it like this and see the whole picture, it's like, oh, I see. I see what's going on right now. But if you're looking at it from an ant eye view, stuck down low, you can't really see the full picture like an eagle eye. You see the whole panoramic view of what's really going on in life. And this is what the true knowledge of self does. The true knowledge of yourself, for improve his power that he can drink. Exactly, God, exactly. Put him in through his start by the devil. Exactly, God. That's the understanding build agree. Exactly. This is how you show proof to prove the power. It's a process of growth and development. These things must take place. It must take place. Now we stepping outside of religion and we dealing with the science of life. We have to deal with the science of life, because if we get caught up in the religious part of it, then our emotions could block our view. See, emotions can blind you to the logical reality of something. It can make you feel some shit and be, yo, that ain't right. Then, you know what? Yo, it had to happen that way. It had to happen that way. Because see, certain things got to happen so other things can happen. It's certain intermediate stages that lead up to a full, complete stage. So it's stages within stages that produce a bigger stage. And then it go on stages and produce a big, it's like interconnected cycles. So it's cycles and cycles that expand into bigger cycles. It's going from smaller cycles and then expands out. You see what I'm saying? And so these stories get put together to describe what's going on in a way that a layman can comprehend, like a baby can comprehend it, because it can be complex if you start to really get into the intricate details about it. So it make it easy for you to comprehend as you growing up as a child and you evolve into a mature aspect of your brain to deal with cerebrium thinking from your cerebrium cortex, you know what I'm saying? And not from back here thinking from just your emotions. You get a better understanding of why life is the way it is. And it allows you to not really be dealing with depression. See, there's no room for depression in the mind of the one who know and understand why things are, but brings rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. Because today is the 4th, right? So the 13th degree says, but brings rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. They continue daily to teach the 85% that all this that you see, such as rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes, comes from that mystery God that no one will ever be able to see until they die. This is believed by the 85%. The 10% knows that once a man dies, he will never come back and tell the living whether he lied or not, because the dead has never been known to return from the grave. All the history of Islam never revealed anyone coming back from a physical death, but there is a chance for a mental death. For the lost and found were once dead mentally, but many of them recovered. But they were not physically dead, only what? Mentally dead. That's the 13th degree. Mentally dead. So when you don't know and understand what life really all about, and you believe in a mystery God, you believe in people can die and come back and shit like that, it distorts your thinking process. So now, because your thinking process is distorted, you can't navigate through the everyday trials and tribulations of life. You can't navigate through the different ups and downs of life. Because now, when you go down, you get overwhelmed by that. But when you up, you feeling good. But when you go down, you feeling bad. Yo, you should not be disturbed. Because here go the science. Nobody has to tell somebody how to function when they're happy. People go seeking out assistance when they depressed and shit. Like, yo, you sad. I'm trying to find out why I'm going through this and that. So, because that's not a natural thing. It's certain things that people going through, but it's only based off a certain level, though. For example, when a child is born, it develops its teeth. The teeth come in and they fall out. He resurrected himself, Lord. Indeed. That's the signs of Lazarus, right? The resurrection of the mental dead. Exactly. So, like I was saying, right? A child is born and they develop teeth at a certain age. Those teeth fall out. That's natural. As the new teeth come in, now it's all incompetent upon the individual of how they eat and how they deal with their teeth, whether or not they're going to catch a cavity and fall out or have to be pulled out because of a cavity. That is not natural. You have natural struggle and unnatural struggle. The natural struggle is, like I said, you a baby, your teeth grow in. You a young child, your teeth automatically falls out. That's natural. A new set of teeth comes in. You have a choice on what you are putting into your mouth. You put the wrong food into your mouth and don't take care of your teeth the way you should, you're going to grow a cavity. Your teeth going to fall out. That's unnatural. Your own hands did that. The choices you made did that. I don't give a fuck what choice you make as a little kid, your teeth going to fall out anyway. You can do anything that you want to do to try to make the motherfucker stay in. At the age of a young child, they still going to fall out. Whether you eat candy or don't eat no candy or don't brush your teeth, they still going to fall out. However, once that set fall out and the new set comes in, it's on you. It's on you now. How you going to deal with it? You know, how you going to deal with that? But yeah, man, I've been up here building for like an hour, G. I've been up here like building like an hour, man. I'm about to get ready to get up off here and take care of some other stuff. But I enjoy y'all coming and taking the time, man, to, you know, sharing this energy, man, and exchange. I appreciate the dialogue, you know, Iron Sheik right here, you know, Lord Serious Mathematics. Yo, who else? Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all coming out. My brother right here, Knowledge Born up here. Yeah. So I'm gonna start coming back live a little more because it's that time, man. You know, we gotta really push it for ourselves. Peace to the God, peace. You know, it's our time, man. It's all about networking. Whoever the gods and earths are different brothers and sisters, man, y'all got different stuff, different content, different product, different services. Yo, bring all this out, man, because we need to network amongst ourselves, man. Different brothers and sisters need to collaborate on different things, man, different type of ventures, different type of projects. You know, we all got to bring this stuff together so we can do for ourselves, man, so we can create our own economy. And if we already have our own economy created, we got to keep our economy moving. So, you know, this is why I promote what I promote. You know, I promote my products. My life is a 5% apparel. I'm promoting that. I got my music. Yo, I got my album coming out, The God King. Skin, flesh, hair, muscle, bone. Trinity, peace. Yeah, the God King about to come out. I'm striving to let it come out on the year 1, October 10th. You know, this year right here, I'm striving to let it come out on our nation's year 1 as a commemoration of our year 1, 1964, October 10th. Yeah, man, you know, the God print, the God King. I'm supposed to link up with the God Allah Divine tomorrow. We go to the studio and, you know, start putting some of the stuff together, man. Some more of the songs together. I'm trying to have like 13 songs, 13 tracks right there on the God print. So what I'm saying with the God print, it's like, yo, show these niggas how to be God, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we show you how to be God, how we coming as the gods to perform our said duty, and that's teach the children, save these babies, man, from early death, save these young ones from incarceration, because it's all about our culture, our story. That's why I rock 5% apparel. The 5% apparel is about our culture, our story. We got to tell our own story, because you got people trying to talk about, yo, who the 5% is, who the gods are. Yo, we telling our story ourselves. And a lot of people don't realize, talking about 50 years of hip-hop, it wouldn't be no hip-hop if it wasn't for the 5%. It wouldn't be no hip-hop if it wasn't for the 5% nation. When Kool Herc and Africa Bambaataa them was doing what they was doing, yo, they were around the gods up in Pelon. The gods called the Bronx Pelon. They were up in Pelon. Spinning cycles on Neutron. Okay, God. Peace to the God, Supreme Being, G-O-D. Okay, peace to the God. Peace. Yeah, man. So, it's 50 years of hip-hop, man. Yo, the gods set the tone for that. The 5%, Allah's 5%ers up in Pelon, in the Bronx, set the tone for that. And yo, we ain't gonna let that story get twisted around. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna let that go unheard. It was the gods. You know what I'm saying? Up in Pelon, you had who? Allah B, my father mentor, his right-hand man, you Allah, who was Shamik back then, his physical Rubar. You had a whole host of gods up there, man. You had a whole host of the gods up there. In Pelon, the Bronx, the BX, the gods called that Pelon. Where what? It's where the devil was made according to the lessons, right? That's where hip-hop was birthed at, by the gods. And so, you know, some people talking, oh, you know, 50-year hip-hop and all that, the birth of hip-hop. You can't leave the gods out of the conversation. You can't leave the 5% nation out of that conversation. I might not have access, you know, to the mainstream airways, the brothers and sisters kicking whatever they kicking. Yo, I don't give a fuck where I'm at. I represent this. You see what I'm saying? I don't care. I could be in Japan. I could be in Egypt. I could be in New York. I could be in Atlanta. I could be in LA. And you know what I'm going to represent? This right here. I'm going to represent the gods and the earths wherever I go. It's not going to be misunderstood. It's not going to be confused. I represent the 5% nation each and every day, each and every way. That's a fact right there. I love the nation. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I love my big brothers and sisters who paved the way for me. I love the babies. The babies are the greatest because this is what we do it for. That's what it's all about right there. It's all about the babies, man. It's all about the youth. It's all about the children. We saving the babies. And to my comrades at Save Our Children movement, with the God Allah, Born Reality, the older God Rasheen, got the God Minister of Justice. Yo, we saving the children for real in this movement. Out in the Queen City, we teaching the babies every day, man. We making a way for the children. We saving the children life literally through mental nourishment and physical nourishment. You know, that's what we doing, man. We all about the children. And I'm all about the 5%, which is all about the children. Yo, you got your 5% apparel. So we got right here, you know, we got these right here. 5% apparel, man. We got all this right here going on. Different flavors right here with this. Got the shirts, go with it. That's what we coming with right here, man. You know, 5% apparel. Our culture, our story. Got the slippers to rock with it. Our culture, our story. This is what it's about right here. You put your stuff in your backpack right here, rock that flag, man. Let them see it. The whole world know. We rep that 5% nation of gods of earth. And if you're not a part of the 5%, and yo, you choosing to wear this apparel, choosing to wear this flag, yo, they might ask you a question. Yo, what's this? It's called a teachable moment. It's more than a fashion statement. It's a teachable moment, you know? And for my big brothers who be like, yo, why you selling the flag on this and doing that like that? Because this is how I'm teaching and reaching. And at the same time, this is how I'm making and showing and proving to the young people that, yo, it could you could be showing and proving you be the greatest and still be compatible with society. And you can make a living for yourself. And you ain't got to be working for the devil. You know what I mean? Love y'all, man. Peace, 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 peace.